Welcome to my channel. Enjoy this video and subscribe my channel. 2005 was filled with great slasher, spooky, and creature feature movies. Early 2000s horror movies weren't afraid to push boundaries and scare audiences in new and exciting ways. Movies like Saw II: Hostile and The Devil's Rejects displayed a whole new type of brutal horror subgenre and showed just how terrifying the world could be in these franchises. These graphically violent movies weren't the first of their genre, but they brought the shock value that audiences felt worldwide. Released in the same year, movies like The Ring 2 and The Exorcism of Emily Rose were about ominous, supernatural horror. These movies were about suffering from within and the vengeful spirits inside the main characters. There was such a wide range of horror movies, proving that people loved all subgenres of horror movies and were open to anything unsettling. 2005 was the year of fear in movies, from realistic, sadistic killers to supernatural horror that explores fears outside of reality. Some films from 2005 even set the foundation for many successful horror franchises. Number 1. The Saw II. It's hard to believe the Saw franchise started in the early 2000s, since there have been 10 movies in the Saw universe, each with its own horrifying storyline and centering around Jigsaw's gruesome games. Saw II is one of the best Saw movies in the franchise because of the compelling characters, the group tension, and the elaborate traps. It's the first movie where the audience hears more about Jigsaw's story and his macabre plans, while also expanding the world past the four walls set in the first Saw movie. 20 years later, audiences still remember the needle pit scene as one of Jigsaw's best traps in the movie. Amanda, played by Shawnee Smith, is thrown into a pit filled with hundreds of needles and must find a key to unlock the door as she's stabbed by needles continuously. While Saw II is gory, it also incorporates more thrilling elements, including different villains and deeper personal storylines. Jigsaw is presented as more of a mastermind, and the idea of punishing those who harm others as his motto takes shape in Saw II with his new group of victims. Number 2. The Ring 2. The Ring 2 is a sequel to the 2002 movie, The Ring. It's a supernatural horror movie that follows the same characters from the first movie, Rachel, played by Naomi Watts, and Aiden, played by David Dorfman. Samara Morgan, the menacing entity in the first movie, returns to possess Aiden. The premise still surrounds a cursed videotape. Movies about vengeful spirits were growing popular in 2005, and The Ring 2 was a mix of a possession and haunting entity movie. 2005 was the perfect year for the release of this movie, since the idea of a haunted videotape could be believable, since people checked out videos at their local Blockbuster and had family movie nights where the video they watched could be entirely different than the one they intended to watch. Including the original Japanese movies, the Ring franchise has 14 movies. Each movie in The Ring has different characters and storylines, making the franchise successful and terrifyingly nostalgic for a time when renting a movie could bring actual terror.